10 bizarrest things washed up on shore. What comes to mind when you go on holiday? Sunny, sandy beaches with clear blue skies and maybe even the odd coconut tree or two. That's what we'd expect too. However, sometimes, on very rare occasions, you may find something much weirder on your local beach other than what you'd expect. From dinosaurs to rubber duckies to a giant eyeball and much more. Some very weird things have washed up on the world's shores. Think we're exaggerating? Then have a look at these 10 bizarre things washed up on shore, brought to you by YouFeed. Number 10. An enormous blue eyeball. On the sands of Pompano Beach in Florida in 2012, a mysterious blue eyeball the size of a giant grapefruit was discovered. It puzzled a lot of people because nobody could figure out what creature the eyeball had belonged to. The mysterious story of the blue eyeball ended up being National Geographic's pick for the weirdest news story of the year. In previous years, this would have likely kicked off decades of sea monster speculation. However, the eye was quickly handed over to wildlife officials who easily identified it as belonging to a very large swordfish. But what happened to the rest of the fish? This has remained a complete mystery. No one knows what happened to the animal after its eyeball washed up by itself. Number 9. A giant Lego man. A group of people walking along a beach in Zandvoort in Holland found a giant Lego man about 8 feet tall one morning. Lego confirmed that they hadn't lost any Legoland displays, so where this guy came from remained a complete mystery. A few months later, research showed that a Dutch artist who goes by the name of Ego Leonard is most likely responsible for the appearance of this giant plastic Lego man. They'd also been found on other beaches around the world, only wearing mischievous smiles and t-shirts with sayings on them that made little sense. In 2011, one such figure showed up on Siesta Key in Sarasota wearing a green shirt that read, "No more real than you are." Ego Leonard has denied the claims. Number 8. Alien pod or dinosaur remains. In August 2016, a 36-year-old man named Mark Watkins was fishing with his aging father in the waters off the western coast of Australia. As their boat moved through the waters, the two fishermen never expected to stumble upon a gigantic floating pink blob. The alien-looking pink and white blob seemed bloated and full of air. Upon first inspection, Mr. Watkins and his father thought that it was a hot air balloon or even a weird kind of upturned boat. The fishermen's curiosity got the better of them, so they both decided to inspect the item. When they got closer to the floating white ball, the two discovered that flippers were attached to the large object and the smell was terrible. Once they had got close enough, the two experienced fishermen realised and identified the alien-looking object as the extremely bloated carcass of a humpback whale. Once the two men returned to shore after taking pictures of the dead whale, they were able to watch the deceased animal's body deflate and get eaten by sharks. However, if you see a decomposed and bloated whale, you should probably stand back, as they are known to blow. Number 7. Bizarre barnacle sea monster. Since the earthquakes that rocked the landscape of New Zealand's beaches a while back, a lot of unusual things have been washing up on Kiwi shores. Amongst those was a mysterious object covered in barnacles that was spotted by a beachgoer named Melissa on Auckland's Muriwau Beach. Melissa immediately took to social media for an answer. She posted images of this strange looking object on Facebook, asking, "Just curious to know if anyone knows what this is." People were quick to offer their opinions, with one person suggesting it looked like a beached Christmas tree and another one saying it reminded them of a sea monster with dreadlocks. The pictures swiftly went viral, capturing the world's imagination. Some speculated it was a sea cow or a dugong. Others said it looked suspiciously like an old English sheepdog. Hundreds liked the pictures on Facebook, and the mysterious object encouraged all sorts of conspiracy theories as to what hid beneath the thick layer of barnacles. Some punters used their imagination and a dash of humour to point out it could be a Rastafarian whale, an alien time capsule, or even an ancient Maori canoe. Many commentators claimed it was just a piece of driftwood, but what do you think? Number 6. Thump Tires. In the 1970s, the state of Florida took on a project to build an artificial reef off the coast of Fort Lauderdale by dumping 2 million tyres into the ocean, which later got out of hand. The idea was to make coral grow on the tyres using fish to come for the coral so tourists and residents could come fishing for food. This would boost the state's tourism and get rid of its garbage at the same time. Unfortunately, none of that happened. The tyres not only were 100% ineffective as a place for coral to grow, but also essentially ensured that the area that they were dropped in would remain uninhabitable. And to remind Florida of this extraordinary act of stupidity, these tyres make their way to shore whenever a strong storm hits. Number 5. Dinosaur femur. The first evidence that dinosaurs once roamed the state of Washington's San Juan Island was when part of an 80 million year old fossil thigh bone was found embedded in a marine rock. Paleontologists discovered the femur while looking for fossilised signs of other extinct animals, and the rock was so hard that it took an entire day to prise the fossil out. Though it was unclear what species of dinosaur the bone belonged to, scientists eventually identified it was a theropod, a type of meat-eating dinosaur, in a study published in 2015. Number 4. The blue sailors. In 2014, beachgoers on the west coast of the United States were confronted by millions of squishy blue animals looking a lot like jellyfish, but each was topped with a rigid structure resembling a sail. Each one of these tiny organisms, called by-the-wind sailors, measured about 2 3/4 inches in length. They typically inhabit the open ocean, preferring warm waters in locations around the world, but every few years, storm activity can sweep them towards coastal regions where they pile up on beaches in enormous quantities. And in 2009 or 10, dead and dying sailors accumulated on a Californian beach to the depth of several feet. Number 3. Bags of drugs. Bags of drugs washing up on beaches is fairly common. In fact, according to Galveston, Texas police, packages similar to the 66-pound bundle of cocaine, worth £3.5 million, which was found on a local beach in May 2015, wash ashore once every couple of months. But what made this one unusual was it was the 6th bundle of drugs discovered on that beach that week. 4 packages containing marijuana and 2 containing cocaine. Police were unsure of the reason for the massive increase, but speculated that heavy storms had restricted access to the Houston Ship Canal, which led to an increased scrutiny by the Coast Guard and traffickers throwing illegal drugs overboard. Number 2. 80 whales beach off the Indian coast. When it comes to why whales beach themselves, scientists haven't been able to find a clear answer, but many have speculated into the reasons this may occur. Whales beaching themselves have been recorded throughout history. In fact, historical records indicate that whales have been beaching themselves since at least 300 BC. However, scientists are discovering that whale strandings appear to be occurring more frequently and in larger numbers than previously known. One possible reason given by marine biologists and scientists as to why whales may be beaching themselves more frequently is the increase in man-made materials and chemicals in the sea, causing greater pollution, which can lead to marine mammals being born, deformed or mentally impaired as a result of poisonous chemicals. And in January 2016, officials confirmed that as many as 80 short-finned pilot whales had become stranded on the sand without any clear reason behind the spate of beached animals. 45 whales unfortunately died after they were washed up on the coast of Tamil Nadu. Rescuers managed to save 36 of the mammals who appeared to be struggling to find their way back to the sea. Officials later confirmed that as many as 80 short-finned pilot whales had become stranded on the sand without any clear reason behind the spate of beached animals. Number 1. Whale excreta. In July 2016, Ken Willman's dog Madge noticed a smelly yellow lump of something on the beach in Lancashire. Initially, Willman had no interest in it. He said, "It smelled horrible, I left it, came back home and looked it up on the internet. When I saw how much it could be worth, I went back and grabbed it." he had stumbled upon a £6 pile of ambergris, or whale vomit, worth up to $180,000. The waxy substance is produced in the intestines of sperm whales to protect their digestive tracts from sharp squid beaks. Despite its nickname, it's likely excreted rather than vomited into the ocean, where it floats for untold amounts of time before washing up on the beach. So why is whale excrement worth so much? High-end European perfumists use it as a fixer that allows a scent to stay on the skin for much longer. It is also historically an ingredient in recipes, especially desserts. What other bizarre things have ever grabbed your attention as you walk along the seashore? Let us know in the comments section below, and if you like this video, don't forget to leave us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the red button below and you'll never miss another video again. Hey, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.